Greetings, dear ones. I'm Cryan of Magnetic Service. We just ask for a moment of silence, and it's very telling. It's all silent in linearity, but not really. For before me there is a living mandala, made with living flowers just a moment ago. It's beautiful. And it took about 30 minutes to make it, with more than 20 people, each taking a turn with gathered flowers from the area and building it in a random way, creating a pattern that is unique, that will never be created again. Each flower was placed with a prayer, and at the end there are many prayers. But what's interesting is it is in a circle. And the circle has always represented the oneness of all. Many prayers pointing to the one source. In addition, this mandala, in many circles, is said to be sacred in its creation and in its impermanence. That means it's going to be collected in a way, and the flowers will be distributed, and the pattern will be destroyed. And in whatever way it's distributed, in water or air or even fire, it goes away. Now the teaching is one thing here. I'm going to give you something else. The story of why these things should be impermanent. In fact, why all of your lives, day to day, should be impermanent. Now stand by for a linear teaching. It isn't necessarily what you hear here. If you create something that is beautiful today, human beings tend to work upon that and build upon that because it's the most precious thing they ever did. And so the permanence of something that occurs to you, even if it's the most sacred thing you can imagine, even if it's an explosion of enlightenment, humans tend to build upon it. They will create perhaps an altar that will simulate that which they have envisioned, that exploded into enlightenment for them. They build upon it and build upon it. And you would say, well, of course they do. It's precious and it's beautiful in every way. Why not? So let me give you a puzzle. Let's say tomorrow you have another explosion of enlightenment that goes to a level you had no idea existed. Are you going to then throw that away because you've already built an altar from the older enlightened thing? And the answer is this: worldwide, that's what's done. Once you experience something, once you are given perhaps a doctrine, or the way of God, or the way of oneness, you listen to those who are wise, and you practice what they say, and you build upon it. And if something comes along that is of a higher level, so many are not willing to see it. They will say, well, it's not what I was told. Dear ones, if you continue to live day by day in impermanence, that will never happen. And so this is the choice of all humanity, but especially here and with you. Whatever you learn today does not then dictate tomorrow, because tomorrow can be grander and greater than today. So creation can happen every single moment. Stand by, literally, wait for it. For tomorrow will let you see things you never saw today. So be impermanent with these things. And do not hook into one thing that then ties you in to the way things work and keeps you from greater things. I want to talk about the area we're in Leh. The altitude here is significant. My partner has taken me to other places that are significant with altitude, such as Lake Titicaca, home of the highest lake on earth, and it's similar in the way it feels and the way you would react to it as a human being needing oxygen and trying to acclimate to this, the thinner air. I want to tell you something that maybe you didn't understand or know. There's some things here that are very unusual. We're in the Himalayas. And as you know, the Himalayas will continue to get higher and higher as you approach the highest one, which of course is Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world at the moment. So I would like to tell you something. What do you think it would be if you added another 1,500 meters to where you are? Let's talk about those who live there, who perhaps live at 6,000 meters or 5,500. What do you think that would be like? Well, I'll tell you. For those who live there and were born there, and there's not that many of them, and some of those called the Sherpas, the ones who lead the guides, the ones who are the guides, the ones who train the guides, it's an interesting situation. How healthy are they? How healthy are they? Well, number one, they are not vegetarians. So you'd say, well, they're probably not quite as healthy as the others who live in India, who are vegetarians. And here's a fact, that in their society is one of the highest rates of those who are living over 100 years. Did you know that? It's very common with them and some others who live at those altitudes in other places of the earth. Why should a thin air create an attribute of long life? Scientists have studied it. They don't fully understand it because a human needs a certain amount of air. And if it's extremely thin, other humans cannot stay there without oxygen. Here is an answer. If you're acclimated from birth to a very thin air, then through a lifetime, a body does not have to function as much as if you had thicker air. Do you see the sense of this? And so long life is a given because the body has never had to work very hard to breathe. It's as simple as that. Now I mention this because now we speak again of the magic of Gaia. You are starting to be in Gaia. The air is clear here. You're looking at the mountaintops. You see the snow. You feel the fact that you are high with every breath. Gaia delivered long life to those who live in the mountains. You realize that Gaia delivers life itself to you? Are you aware that every breath of thick or thin air had to emanate from a plant? Gaia feeds you, lets you breathe. The magic of photosynthesis is a partnering with you and the planet. And that's just one area. We have given these kinds of things to you before, but now you're going to walk in it. You're going to see some of the things that were built that are high. There is some kind of a sacredness as you get in high places. Have you noticed? And the places that my partner has been taken to that are the highest are some of the most sacred in the planet. And now here we are in India, in a very sacred place that is again high. So there is this feeling among human beings that if they can place those things which are temples or houses of importance or learning centers in very high places, they're going to have the advantage somehow of even higher essence and energy from Gaia. Is this a perception or is it true? Well, dear ones, it happens all over the planet. It's true. For as you raise the altitudes and you start to feel the thin air, there's this feeling of sacredness that comes over you, an enhancement to connect to the oneness. Even though you may think it's harder to breathe, there is an attribute here that your body recognizes, and it's easier to connect. And this is why you'll find these things here, and then, of course, in the magic of Tibet, where it's very high indeed. I want you in these next days to look upon Gaia a little different than you have before. We'll continue the theme that it is the life's partner of all humanity. But in this journey, in this place, you get to feel it. Is Gaia real to you? Or is it just a place you live? Is it your partner that is spiritual? Or is it just a place to live? Have you ever considered that part of oneness is the connection to everything Gaia is? Now, dear Westerner who's listening to this is new to you. But here it's not. Gaia is included, the animals are included, the air is included. The oneness is with all. It's not just humans. That is one of the biggest secrets of oneness. You cannot make it exclusive. So think on these things as you look at the mountains. And as you climb some stairs, it may make you breathe a little harder, knowing that everything is perfect in divine order, and you'll remember these times for a long time. And so it is.